The phone rang while I was staring at the reflection of my own hands. They were steady. That disturbed me. The number was hers, my wife's assistant, not my wife. A small detail, the kind that grows teeth later. "Congratulations," the voice said, too bright. "The board finalized it this morning." I waited. The promotion went to Daniel. Daniel. 2 weeks in the company, 2 weeks in her orbit. I said nothing. Silence is a language people confess into. "She thought you'd understand," the assistant added quickly, "given everything." The line went dead. Outside my office window, the city moved as if nothing had changed. Cars, light, breath. I felt something detach inside my chest, cleanly, surgically, like a thought choosing to stop loving its owner. I didn't scream, didn't swear, didn't ask why. I smiled, because when someone takes something that belongs to you without fear, it means they believe you are already defeated, and that belief is always their first mistake. I replayed the last 3 months in reverse, frame by frame. Her late nights, the way she stopped asking about my day, the way she'd flinch, not from guilt, but calculation, when I touched her phone. Daniel had arrived quietly, MBA, polished smile, the kind of man who mirrors authority instead of earning it. She mentored him personally, too personally. At home she had grown efficient, affection rationed, intimacy scheduled, then forgotten. When I asked if something was wrong, she said I was projecting insecurity. That word again, projecting. I'd built the company with her, brick by argument, risk by risk. I knew her ambition the way one knows their own heartbeat. But ambition without loyalty becomes hunger, and hunger doesn't apologize when it eats. The first real fracture came during dinner 2 weeks ago. She was distracted, smiling at a message she didn't show me. "Work?" I asked. She nodded too fast. That night she didn't come to bed. I lay awake listening to the house breathe around me. The silence wasn't empty, it was rehearsed. I didn't confront her, I started watching. Observation is a form of intimacy. I watched the way Daniel's calendar synced with hers, the way meetings appeared twice, the way her perfume changed, something sharper, chosen for impact, not comfort. I accessed server logs, expense reports, travel overlaps. A pattern emerged. Hotels booked under conference names that never existed. Emails drafted, deleted, redrafted. Emotion hidden beneath corporate grammar. I smiled through board meetings, nodded at jokes, let her believe I was unraveling quietly. At home she became bold. "You're not hungry anymore," she said one night. "You've changed." I wanted to laugh. Instead, I asked her if she was happy. She paused. That pause told me everything. The confirmation came in a message meant for someone else, a preview notification she forgot to mute. "I can't wait until he's out of the way." I didn't read further. I didn't need to. I hired a private investigator, not to catch them in bed, but to map the financial bleed, the secret accounts, the shell agreement shifting shares to Daniel under the guise of performance incentives. She wasn't just betraying me, she was replacing me. I scheduled a board review under the guise of restructuring. She arrived confident, radiant. He followed, carrying her confidence like a borrowed coat. I placed a single folder on the table. "Before we begin," I said, "I'd like to clarify ownership." She blinked. Inside the folder, bank transfers, time-stamped messages, hotel footage, and one final document, a signed clause she'd overlooked years ago. A clause I wrote when love still made me cautious. In the event of infidelity tied to corporate sabotage, equity reverted entirely. Her face drained. Daniel reached for the papers. I slid them away. "I wasn't talking to you." She stood, her voice cracked. "You went through my things?" "No," I said calmly. "I watched you give them away." Silence collapsed the room. The board stared. I stood, handed her 2 envelopes, one resignation, one divorce filing. I already signed mine. She followed me to the elevator, voice shaking now. "You can't do this." I pressed the button. I already did. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. That's when her phone rang. Her daughter, on speaker. "Mom, are you serious? You're bringing him for Thanksgiving? Dad always did everything." The call ended abruptly. Her face fractured. I leaned in, close enough for her to smell the calm on me. "I booked a villa in Switzerland," I said softly. "Alps, Lakeview." Silence. She laughed, hysterical. "You think you've won?" I looked at her like I was seeing a stranger exit my life. "No," I said. "I think I'm done playing." Later that night, my phone lit up. 71 missed calls, messages, voicemails. Photos sent to her by mutual friends. Me on a balcony, glass of wine in hand, snow behind me like a clean ending. I wake now without tension, no notifications, no lies to manage, no love to negotiate. I walk the terrace alone. The air here doesn't ask questions, it just exists. People think revenge is loud, violent, messy. They're wrong. Real revenge is silence that echoes forever. I didn't take her future, I simply stepped out of it, and in the space I left behind, she finally heard herself.